Good evening, everyone. Everyone at some point in their lives has felt discouraged. Maybe you're going through some financial stuff. You're not where you want to be financially. Maybe you thought this year was a year you'd have a partner or get married, and that's not happening for you. Maybe this is the year that you started working on a career or started working on your business and it's not going in the direction that you want it to go. Well, my friends, every one of us have mountains to climb, and sometimes we don't even see the end in sight. We don't even know where we're going, and it can be very discouraging. It can feel hopeless. We feel alone. And that's why there's a book that can encourage us. It's called The Little Engine That Could. How many of you have read this book or know this? Oh, wow, that's awesome. It's about a little train that's trying to go across the mountain because it's delivering toys for little boys and girls. And this train breaks down, doesn't make it across the mountain. And it sees other trains go by, raises his hand and says, "Hey, can you help me?" But then there's this little blue engine that comes across. And this little blue engine, the little train asks the little blue engine, "Can you help me?" It says, "I don't think so. I'm really small. There's no way I'm going to push you across this mountain." But then the little train asks, "Can you try?" "Okay, I'll try." And as it's going across the mountain, it says, "I think I can. I think I can. I think I can." And it gets across the mountain and all the kids are overjoyed because they have toys. And then what happens? It says, "I thought I could." Well, my friends, this week, I didn't think like I could go across a mountain. I didn't even think I could go in a valley. I've been working on this mountain it's my business. That's what I feel like my mountain is. And I was very excited earlier this week. I ended up posting on this Facebook group about this new video series that I'm doing. I was very excited about it. The first comment I got, without anyone even looking at what I was doing, is, "This is BS." The second comment I got is something also very negative from the moderator. I removed myself from that group, but I felt discouraged. I actually felt quite humiliated because there's a lot of people that I was posting to and they all saw this. There's 3 reasons that we feel discouraged. The first reason is when we hear about people, there might even be strangers to us, but we hear these mean comments from other people. And what do? We don't focus on all the great things that happened that day. I didn't focus on everything going on well. I focused on these comments from these strangers. It's just what we do. It's human nature, and it discourages us. The second reason we get discouraged and we give up is because we end up having these negative self-talks. We tell each other, or we tell ourselves, not each other. We really talk to ourselves about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of something you really wanted to do because you didn't think you could do it? Or how many times did you have a speech, or you were in a role and you sit down at the chair like this after you do your speech and you say, "That was stupid," or "I can't believe I said it that way," or "I wish I said this way." How many times do we do that? We do that all the time, and it discourages us, makes us not want to move on. Third reason we get discouraged is we compare ourselves to other people. Compare leads to despair. Maybe you're doing that today. Maybe you do that in the meetings, comparing yourself to other speakers, thinking, "I'll never do that." And then you never come back to Toastmasters. But the good news is there is a path forward. There are 3 things you can do. I'll give you my words of wisdom that I did this week to not give up on my business. The first one is actually focusing on encouraging people. So what do? You call people. It's very uncomfortable, but when we're down, we don't want to call people, right? We want to isolate and alienate, but call someone for encouragement. Say, "You know what? I'm going through something and I need your support." And they'll be like, "Okay, I'll give it to you." Of course, people that you trust. The second thing to do to move forward that can help you is moving their self-talk, going from a negative talk to a positive affirmation. An example is in The Little Engine That Could. The little engine started with, "I can't do this," or "I don't think I can pull that train up the mountain," to "I think I can." And that "I think I can" wasn't like, "Oh, I definitely can make it up the mountain and I can make it up to 13 mountains." It was just a small little step. "I think I can." So what I'm going to encourage you all to do, I gave you this sheet of paper for a reason, is to draw a line through the middle of your piece of paper and write on the left-hand side negative, right-hand side positive. And I'll give you an example. My negative thought that was this week is I'm quitting my business. People don't like what I'm doing, and I'm quitting. That's my negative. My positive thought that I have is I think I'm capable to do a business. Get it? And you can think about it. And what you can think about is maybe you're thinking of a negative thought right now. You thought about a negative thought this week. But this is a really good exercise to keep going and to encourage you to not give up. The third way to move forward is to, instead of comparing yourself to other people, you can actually compare yourself to yourself. And in that way, what that means is compare yourself to your successes. Look at the successes that you have in your life. If I look at my past successes, I started at 19 as an entrepreneur. I worked for Microsoft. I did some startup projects, and I went on to different projects. So I'm going to change actually my positive affirmation to, I think I can do a business because I've had past successes. So what I encourage you all to do is read this book. I don't think this is a little kid's book. I think this is a book of encouragement to never give up. It doesn't mean that you're going to sometimes take a different course or change your course, but what it means is you're going to keep moving forward. I know for me, I have my entrepreneurial spirit that's not going away. And what I encourage you all to do is not only just think that I think I can, but start moving in the direction to say to yourself, I know I can do it. I'm moving in that direction. Thank you.